afternoon, good evening, those of you on YouTube and TikTok platforms. We thank the Most High, even for you. On this first day of the week, we thank Him for all His mercy and everything that He's done. Let's pray. Oh, most holy Shanini Nanini, even the Spirit that moved upon the waters according to Genesis 1:1, 1:2. We thank you for all that you've done. We thank you for your mercy. We thank you for your favor. We thank you for everything that you've done. We thank you for being there for us. We thank you that you've caused us to be the head and not the tail. That you've given us a new heart, like even David said, create in me a clean heart, renew in me a right spirit. Oh, yes, yes, yes. And then I'm going to teach people your way. I'm going to tell them what you say. And I'm going to do those things that are right. Yes, we have gone the way of Cain. We've complained. We've gone through different things that we don't even know. But we ask you to have mercy upon us. Forgive us and help us to walk in a repentant way, that we walk right, that we walk as a bride worthy of her husband, that we walk as a people, a holy priesthood, a royal nation. Yes, renewing us a right spirit, that we might do those things that's contained in your law that you have said, because we really have missed a lot of things. Teach us, show us, remove this laziness, this hesitancy in us. In your name. Yes, yes, yes. And we thank the Most High for you, and you. And we're in Genesis chapter 25. I have a shout out all to my good friends in Pride, Africa. Yes. Oh, God bless you. But anyway, I have a lot of fun with those women. But anyway, Exodus chapter 25. And the I Am spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring me an offering of every man that giveth it willingly with his heart. Ye shall take my offering, and this is the offering which ye shall take of them: gold, silver, and brass. Yes, and blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine linen, and goat's hair, and ram skin dyed red, and badger skin. We got to talk about that later. And shittim wood, oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil, and for sweet incense, onyx stones, and stones that be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. And let them make me a sanctuary, that I might dwell among them, according to all that I show thee, after the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of the instruments thereof. So ye shall make it. In other words, a place to worship, a place where you can gather. It's not a church. This here was outside. This was made with all kinds of things. But the badger skin, I think that's a misnomer. Misnomer means something that shouldn't be there. Whoever translated it got it wrong, because most of the skins that he talks about were skins of clean animals. A badger is an unclean animal. Do you not know that a badger is hard to kill? Somebody get ripped up trying to kill a badger, or trying to capture a badger. Yes. Now, verse 10. Now they shall make the ark of shittim wood. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold without, and thou shalt lay it, and shalt make upon it a crown of gold round about. In other words, the top of it is going to be gold. It's going to be a round. In other words, thou shalt cast the 4 rings of gold for it, and it will put them, in other words, cast. They're going to make a cast with their little sand or whatever, however they do it, and they're going to pour the gold in there, and then it's going to make the rings. Okay? This is how they do it. Now, thereof, on the other side, now thou shalt make stays of shittim wood. In other words, rods. In other words, you're going to take the gold rod, you're going to form out a rod, and then you're going to dip it in gold. Okay? With gold. And thou shalt put the stays into the rings by the sides of the ark, that the ark may be borne with them. And the stays shall be in the rings, then the ark, they shall not be taken from it. And thou shalt put into the ark the testimony which I shall give thee. In other words, it was more than 10 commandments. There's more than 10 commandments. Okay, let's give it this way. Verse 17, thou shalt make a mercy seat of pure gold, 2 cubits and a half, and shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof. Now these things are representative of what's in God's realm, or what you call hidden. But anyway, in God's realm, he was surrounded. The cherubims God was sitting in a seat. And the cherubims, you will see that if you read the prophets. The cherubims was right at his side. They moved with him like the wheels in the middle of the wheel. This is what he saw, but that's not what it is. That's what appeared, but that's not what it is. Now, the cherubims. This is what's in heaven. And he's given what's in heaven, also what's in earth. Even the colors and everything of where God is are representatives of these colors, these stones that these people have given. Now, and make the one cherub on one end and the other cherub on the other end. Even the mercy seat shall ye make the cherubims on two ends thereof. And you notice they cover the face. They will cover the face. On the mercy seat, they cover the face of the Most High. No man ever seen the face of the Most High and lived. That came from the mouth of the Most High. And shall stretch forth their wings on high and cover the mercy seat. And their faces shall look one to another toward the mercy seat, shall the faces of the cherubim be. Now thou shalt put the mercy seat above the ark. In other words, the mercy seat sits on top of the commandments. It sits on top of the law, statutes, and ordinances that God is getting ready to hand to Moses while he's in the mount. This is happening in the mount. Now, he says, thou shalt put the mercy seat. In other words, when you do these, there's mercy. What is the mercy? Let's get it. Okay? And thou shalt put a testimony that I shall give thee. Put the testimony in there. The testimony. What is a testimony? Something that we proclaim that should be done. Now he says that I will meet thee and I will commune with thee from the mercy seat. Oh, yes. He said, I'm sitting there. My face is hidden. You might see my feet and the rest of my body. This may be the throne that the prophets saw. The throne in the realm that they were bidden to come up to. Some of them call it astral projection or whatever. God can do that too. Your magicians and all that stuff. Yeah, you talk about African art of spirituality. No. You better get this kind of spirituality. Worshiping God in spirit and in truth. Not no astral projection and all that stuff. You've been watching too much of Dr. Strange. Now, let's see this. It says, cherubims which are upon the ark of the testimony, all things which I will give thee in commandment unto the children of Israel, or the Bantu. Thou shalt also make a table of shittim wood. 2 cubits shall be the length thereof, a cubit and the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half in the height thereof. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, and thereunto a crown of gold round about. Okay, you can overlay it with pure gold, and you on the top, the crown, the top. You're going to overlay it with pure gold. This is Old English. You got to really sublimate and make things sound right. Now, thou shalt make unto it a border of an handbreadth round about. The handbreadth, the width of the hand. Okay, now he's going to say, round about the border of it, and thou shalt make for it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings in the 4 corners that are in the 4 feet thereof, and over against the border shall the rings be for places of the staves to bear. In other words, the rods where the Levitical priests sit up, and they carry the ark out of the out, or either transport it to another place. Now, thou shalt also make staves of shittim wood, overlay them with gold, that the table may be borne, even the table of the showbread is going to be shown. And thou shalt also make the dishes thereof, the spoons thereof, and the covers thereof, and the bowls thereof, and to cover with all the pure gold shalt thou make them. Now, most of these people will fall asleep and not really understand what it's about. Then you're going to say, oh, the Bible's not true. The Bible. You read the New Testament, it don't tell you a doggone thing. Come on here. Now, let's see here. It says now, and thou shalt set upon the table showbread before me always. Thou shalt make a candlestick of pure gold. Beaten work shall the candlestick be made in his shaft. The shaft, the straight middle part, okay? And his branches, the branches that comes out, they call it the menorah, some of them call it. His bowls and his knops, that's the knots that's on the menorah. You got knots that comes as it goes up. Now, and his flower shall be of the same. And 6 branches shall come out of the sides of it. 3 branches of the side, the candlestick, out of one side, and 3 branches of the candlestick out of the other. In other words, 3. It's going to face out like that. This is the shaft, and it's going to be knots until you get to the place where the candles belong. Now, let's go ahead. 3 branches of the candlestick out of each other. Now it says that 3 bowls made like unto almonds with a knot of flour, 1 in one branch, and 3 bowls made like almonds in the other branch with a knot and a flour. In other words, he's telling you how to stack this thing. So in 6 branches shall come out of the candlesticks, and the candlestick shall be 4 bowls made like unto almonds with their knots, or knots in their flowers. Knot in the flour, and knot in flour, and this and that. Okay. Now there shall be a knot under 2 branches of the same, a knot under 2 branches of the same, a knot under 2 branches of the same, until you get to the candlesticks. Okay, what proceed out of the candlesticks, and then knops and their branches shall be of the same, and it shall be one beaten work of pure gold. In other words, you're gonna beat it with a hammer and tap it till you get it as straight and smooth if you want to. Now he didn't say cast it. He said you're gonna beat it. All right. Now, therefore, thou shalt make 7 lamps thereof, and they shall light the lamps thereof, and that they may give light over against it. And the tongs, you got to have tongs and snuff dishes to put out the light. Okay. And shall be pure gold of the talent, pure gold shall he make it with all these vessels. And look that thou make them after their pattern, which was showed to thee in the mount. Now look in your heart, that you make your heart after the pattern that God has showed Moses into the mount. And thou shalt not do this. This is already written in your heart. It's already there. Some ignore it. Some see it. Some are drawn to the Most High because of it. Some cry. Some moan. Many of you suffer because you refuse to acknowledge that which is already in your heart, and then seek to understand and know the Most High even more. And with that, I'm going to say peace.